DN Media and Stained Glass Media present Dark Solar, Book 1, Oleander. Written by D.N. Leo. Narrated by Catherine Edwards. Prologue. Scotland, 1864. Charmian brushed her hand over the tips of the cold, wet grass as she sauntered along a narrow path that led to a small bush off the rolling hillside. She inhaled deeply. She liked the feel of the chilled winter air rushing through every cell in her body. It was as pure and clear as crystal, she thought. Where she came from, there was no such thing as what they called the weather here, and there was certainly no winter. Everything in her world was perfectly controlled. It was a world of purity. She laughed when she heard people on earth refer to her world as heaven. The name did have a nice ring to it, but for some reason she didn't appreciate that world as much as Shael did. Her beloved husband was the righteous angel of light, but she was only an apprentice to be in the house of gods. She was on maternity leave from a job she hadn't yet gotten when she became pregnant. She had become so bored in that perfect world of hers that she'd pressured her husband to let her go with him on a mission to Earth. She'd been with him to many places, but Earth was her favorite. She rubbed absently at her tummy. It would be a while before she showed any sign of pregnancy, but Shael didn't like her hanging around the house of gods while she was with child. He suspected there was a dirty angel in this council, someone who had been dealing with the dark side. "Aren't angels supposed to be the most righteous of righteous?" she thought, but as she had done several times before, she brushed that thought aside. She knew her husband well. He didn't have the evidence to support his accusation, and would keep it to himself for the safety of her and their first child. From her bag she pulled out a newly released novel she had just bought from a merchant on the main street in town. She rubbed her thumb along the spine of the book and sniffed the pages. She loved the smell of earth paper. Shael would probably laugh at her sentiment when she gave the book back to him tonight, but she loved the story. It was a fairy tale, one that was so close to their own story. She would never forget the look in Shael's eyes when they got married by the lake. They didn't need any approval. All they ever needed was their love for each other. Charmian frowned when she looked down and saw the bunch of wild roses in front of her suddenly turn blood red to snow white. She shook her head to clear her vision. Then she watched as the roses returned to their deep red hue again. But before she could feel any relief at the change, she heard a bone-chilling chuckle from behind her. She knew that sound well. For more than 5 years she had not heard it, and she wished the situation had stayed that way. She turned around. In front of her was the magnificent angel of ice. Her long white hair flew in the wind, and her porcelain skin was so perfectly white that it looked as if she had no blood flowing through her body. Angel of Ice was not an official position. Charmian had given her sister that name because she was as cold and heartless as a piece of ice. "Luna," Charmian said, keeping her voice as calm as possible. Her sister was the best student of dark magic and could do things beyond imagination. Charmian knew for certain that the very moment she showed weakness, Luna would attack her. She also knew Luna didn't read minds, so she did her best to keep her fear at bay. "Well, long time no see, sister. I didn't know your husband took you on a mission with him. You're barely an apprentice. What can you possibly do to help him?" She shrugged and asked, "What do you want?" Luna laughed. "Oh, dear sister, why do you always assume I want something from you?" "Because you always do." Luna nodded and walked slowly in a circle, her eyes measured. "Perhaps you're right, but you wouldn't give me what I wanted, so I'll save my brow."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?